Okay, I have Drug and Alcohol Commission. It's about $1.2 million. They do the best that they possibly can with treatment. A lot of time in the prison trying to get people, instead of just sitting incarcerated, if they have drug and alcohol issues, that they at least have an opportunity for treatment of some kind. We have emergency management, I mentioned earlier. We are actively working on a replacement 911 center, so that's something that you'll see in the next year or two, that we'll be pulling those plans together. We are now in the basement of the courthouse in a very unlikely place because it at least was a flood zone, and we do not have a backup, a physical backup. So we're working on those things with technology as a help. Penn State Extension, I'm the liaison with that. Great resource for our county. Through the research of Penn State, and especially with our great agricultural base that we have, it's a great place to go for information, and the 4-H programs and all those things are all tied to that effort. The planning department, anything that goes through, we're trying to encourage more municipalities to work through our planning department as we rebuild that department, so that we have uniformity and better efficiency. So if you're whatever township you're in, please encourage yours to take another look at our planning department for their services. We also have the Renova Center, and that's my last one, that is for severely and profoundly disabled people. Just to give you a quick snapshot, we are the last of its kind in the state. We have 25 beds. We've been using a census of about 20. Almost half of the beds are filled with out-of-county residents. So we are subsidizing to the tune of about $35,000 per resident per year, half of which are from outside the county. So we're trying to figure out how to deal with that issue. As people age out of pediatric care, they look at us first because we're the last in the state to have such a facility. We have an outdated model, and we just have to address that, talk about it, and figure out how to better handle the $750,000 deficit that's running for us each year. So with that, I will turn it over to Mr. Vice President.
Vice President. Thanks.
Vice Chair.
Well, first of all, let me say thank you to the CLA for inviting us here, and I would like to preface my comments today by saying that I continue to be very proud to be a Lebanon County Commissioner and to represent the folks in Lebanon County. So don't let some of the things that you've heard and read influence you in your thinking towards me and my family, okay? Commissioner Phillips mentioned the state situation and what we're looking at down the road, and it certainly is encouraging. And just to piggyback on what he's already said, and he didn't mention this, which I think is I'll use Commissioner Phillips' favorite word, astounding to me, and that is that this year, the present budget year for the state, they are experiencing at this point a $1.3 billion shortfall in revenues for the current year. So you couple that with the fact that they're trying to balance a budget next year and attack a pension problem, it's pretty significant. I would like to say that, we have done very responsible fiscal things in Lebanon County, and we have turned around the finances of this county in the time that this board has been in office. And I'm very proud of that, and I've made decisions during that process that have obviously put me in political peril, but I'm proud to say that I stand by them, and I think they were the right decisions. As far as my liaisonships are concerned, I'm liaison to the Area Agency on Aging. Area Agency on Aging is a little different in that nearly all of the funding, we contribute very little at the county level to that agency, but the folks that work there, of course, are our employees, and I'm really happy to be engaged with the Area Agency on Aging because that's where I belong. Buildings and grounds, and this is another area that I chose, and we pretty much have input as to which areas we're going to serve in these positions. And of course, most of you know that my background is in buildings and grounds, building maintenance, grounds maintenance, and janitorial. And one of the things that we did based on I think my encouragement early on in our tenure of office was to outsource the janitorial services in the county. And at that time when we did that, we saved about $100,000 a year, and I think we have clean buildings. So I'm very proud to have played a role in that decision. I'm also liaison. Of course, the first two there are county agencies, but I'm liaison to the Chamber of Commerce, and I'm proud to be associated with them. And that is to keep the lines of communication open with the Chamber. I'm also on the board of directors of the County Conservation District, and that's an agency that when we first took office the last term, that agency was part of the county. It was actually county employees, and they were a direct part of county government. There was another option, and they are now their own agency with, of course, feedback and support from the county, and I'm happy to say that they're doing very well in that position. I'm also chairman of the Board of Elections, and of course I've stepped out of that position this year because of my involvement in one of the local elections. I'm also liaison to the Economic Development Corp. Again, staying on top of economic development. I'm liaison to Lebanon Transit, the transit authority, and we do have some local funding to the Lebanon Transit, so we're staying in touch with that. I'm also on the DMO, the Visit Lebanon Valley Board of Directors. I also serve on the Expo board, the Exposition Center, and I'm liaison to the IT department, and that's one of the areas where we have been making and continue to make significant strides, because our IT services is way outdated and not meeting the needs. And myself and the other two commissioners here will take credit for getting you your tax bills on time this year for the first time, I think, in 3 or 4 years, and that's because of the updates and the new staffing that we've done there. And we were looking at mega dollars to get that department updated, but through the help from some folks at CCAP and actually Bob Hadfield and some of his compatriots worked with us, and we saved a lot of money in that renewing that department by bringing folks that were in IT services in some of the other agencies and actually bringing them to our IT department where they're serving double duty. So that's worked out well for us. I also serve on the local WIB board, the PA Works, which is a regional area. It involves 8 counties, and that's actually the career link and things associated with that. And I recently have been asked to serve as the liaison to the United Way, and I'm proud to be associated with them and support their 211 efforts. So that's it. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. You may have heard this before, but there's always somebody that hears it for the first time. Back when William Penn set up counties and we were all assigned our duties by the state, what we were told to do in a book called Pertinent Statutes is to protect children, serve families, secure justice, manage emergencies, and safeguard elections. Now, there's explanations with all that, but I won't bore you because you've had a lot of words already today. But the state continues to add to our plate and ask us to do more and more. For example, we are charged with taking care of the trash. And to that end, almost like a corporation would create a sub-corporation to limit liability, the Greater Lebanon Refuse Authority was created. We have a housing authority, we have a redevelopment authority, we have a transit authority. All of those do parts of the functions for the county. And the commissioners usually appoint the people who sit on the boards, but there are exceptions. The GLRA is set up that each municipality has a representative on that board. My personal liaison assignments include chairing the assessment board, and that is again designated so that the reason is I am the longest serving commissioner, so therefore I chair that board. I am on the board of children and youth, and we just had a foster parent appreciation banquet this week that was lovely. We have people who have been fostering children for 25 years. Some of them have fostered 18 children. Many of them have adopted some of those children. I serve on Community Action Partnership, and I might add, knowing that we were going to be asked for some information, I did get those postcards printed. That was my dollar, not taxpayer dollar, so that you would have some statistics to know how you are served here in Lebanon County by these different departments. The Community Action Partnership, for example, gives GED, helps educate people to get their GED if they didn't finish high school. I also work with Geographic Information Systems, which is a layering system of mapping. I think we have over 200 layers, so you can get a customized map. Many municipalities take advantage of this. You can get parcels, you can get rivers, you can get the rail trail, anything that you can possibly imagine. We have sexual predators because there's a 1,000-mile radius around schools and homes where they live, where they might live, or doing drugs. So there's all kinds of layers you can create, and the police, the law enforcement use this. Most of our departments, especially planning, use it, and it's very important to have a good GIS system. Cherie Prentice-Brown has been with us from the beginning and has headed that department the entire time. I am on the board for the mental health County of Lebanon, and that also includes intellectual disabilities and early intervention. Veterans Affairs is another board on which I sit, and there, one of the things that gets done is that when we have disabled veterans who have served our country but put their lives on the line, but were fortunate enough to come back, they get, by law, 100, if they apply and they qualify, 100% exemption from real estate tax. In Lebanon County, we have about 130 veterans who have taken advantage of this program. And in tax dollars, that's about $100,000. But I think it's $100,000 well spent to say thank you for your service and for keeping us safe. I'm also the representative to the Commission for Women, and that's lots of fun. I really enjoy that, where we do things like the Glass Slipper Project. They collect prom dresses all year long, and then at the appropriate time before prom, for $10, every girl in this county has the opportunity to buy a lovely dress and attend her prom. It makes it affordable. It's not just me alone. I just get to serve with a bunch of really great women to do this. We also do something called the Commission for, a Hall of Fame. And the Hall of Fame is where we recognize hidden heroes in our community, women who are giving back, who are making a difference, who don't get a lot of credit, but who need once in a while a few words of encouragement. It's also important to know that we take on new projects and we support young women as well. Girls on the Run is one that we're working with the elementary school to build self-confidence and self-esteem. And the list goes on. It's just a really rewarding job, and I thank you all for putting me into this position so that I do get to help people every day and help to solve problems. Thank you.